Holy cow. 2025 is legit in like one more day. And most ADHD entrepreneurs I know, you're probably feeling one of these two things right now. One, you're panic. Like, oh my God, I didn't accomplish anything I said I would do. I'm so behind. Everyone else is ahead. I'm starting out the year from scratch again. Or you're like in total manic excitement. Like, this is my year. I'm going to batch a ton of content. I'm going to launch. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to crush it. And honestly, both of those are a setup for failure. So today we're going to do something different. I'm Alyece Smith. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to give you an actual game plan for starting 2026 without burning out, without freaking out, or setting yourself up for another year of why can't I just get this right? Let's dive into it.
You, you, yes. Yo, it's Alyece, say it right, no cap. ADHD CEO, yeah, we run this track. Systems that slap, brains built different. We make sales in our sleep, yeah, the hustle's efficient. This ain't fluff, nah, this is strategy raw for the ADHD. Minds breaking every law. Hit subscribe, don't miss a single show. We're running on dopamine, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, real talk, because the last several weeks on the podcast, we have talked about, getting into the new year, the end of the year review, episode 191, episode 192, goal setting and planning for pivots, not perfection. 193, talking about like, let the trends go. Here's 5 real predictions. But the truth is, tomorrow, December 31st, you'll stay up late making, perfect plan for next year, color coded spreadsheet, content calendar map out, launch stage scheduled. You're so ready. You probably even bought a template for one on Etsy, all the things. And then January 1, you're going to wake up pumped. This is your year. You're going to post on Instagram, new year, new me, let's go. January 2nd through 7th, about 5 days, you're going to be on fire, posting daily, working on your offer, feeling unstoppable, getting all your water in, getting your steps in, all the things. By January 8th, your brain's going to be tired. Okay. You skipped one day of posting. It's fine. I'll post tomorrow. Then January 9th, you're going to post sporadically for the next several days, and that guilt starts creeping in. By the 15th, you're completely over it, right? You're ghosting your own plan. You start looking on YouTube for the perfect strategy for entrepreneurs, productivity tips. You're going to scroll Instagram, watching other people crush it, and you're going to think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just stick to one thing? Why can't I just stick to having a planner or having a plan? And this is so hard to come to terms with. But the truth is, your ADHD brain loves the dopamine hit of a fresh start. When we talk about, if I got paid for every time I said dopamine, I would be a bajillionaire. Okay. But that's the truth. New year, new planner, new strategy, new you. That excitement floods your brain with dopamine, and it makes you feel like this time will be different. But that excitement is not sustainable. Okay. Dopamine crashes. And when it does, you don't have a system to keep you going. You just have willpower. And for ADHD brains and neurodivergent brains, willpower runs out very fast. So by January 15th, you're right back where you started, except now you also feel like a failure because you couldn't even make it 2 weeks. I want you to listen to me. You did not fail because you're not disciplined enough. You failed because you built your plan on motivation instead of systems. And motivation is a terrible foundation. So if you're sitting here 2 days before 2026 thinking, this year, I'm really going to do it, I want you to pause for a second because we're not doing that this year. Okay. We're doing it smarter. Before I tell you what to do, let me tell you what not to do on January 1st. All right. I don't want you to make a massive content calendar for the entire year if you've never done it before. Hear me out. If you've never done it before, I have in corporate, I have personally planned out for the whole year. So I do like to go ahead and have a generalized idea of what you could say, like a theme or a collection for the month, right? It feels productive and it looks organized. But what ends up happening is you'll look at it and you'll feel so overwhelmed. You'll end up ignoring it. You're going to feel guilty about ignoring it, and you're going to pretend it doesn't exist. That's like over a 2 week process, right? Because your ADHD brain doesn't do well with the long term planning that requires constant focus or systems that rely on you remembering to check them or structure that doesn't account for your energy fluctuations. So, if you, like I said, if you've never done it before, if this is a constant problem for you or a constant struggle for you, skip the massive content calendar. We'll talk about what to do instead in just a minute. I don't want you to go in and commit to 2 to 3 posts per day. Okay. I see this all the time. I'm going to post 3 TikToks a day until I grow. And yes, people have talked about me contradicting myself with this. Yes, I did do a massive TikTok tactics challenge way back when. You could still buy it. It's got 21 days of done for you proven prompts. Okay. And I'll put it in the show notes in the courses, in my courses section. But I did. And I committed to that. But that was my hyper focused project at that time. And I enjoy creating content. See, that's where the nuances come in is that I enjoy it. I could create content all day long. It's the back end that I will avoid if I don't have a plan for it. And so if content's a struggle for you right now, don't go in thinking you're going to do 3 TikToks a day. I get it. You want to be consistent, but your ADHD brain doesn't do every day. Some days you have energy, some days you don't. Some days you're hyper focused, some days you can't focus to save your life. Some weeks you're on, some weeks you're in recovery mode. And that is normal. I just did a full 4-day detox from my cell phone after Christmas. I was just so overwhelmed, overstimulated, and it was a lot of things. It's not that I don't love my family, but we were on vacation for full 7 days. We come back, we got like 3 days to get everything together before Christmas. Then we got this family and this family and this family, and it was just so much. Then you come home with 1,000 boxes that your kids just tear open. There's styrofoam everywhere. It's like, oh my gosh. So I did like a 4-day detox. I'm not kidding. I put my phone, I think, on my nightstand Thursday night. I came home, started helping the kids put Christmas gifts together, all the pieces. And I don't think I looked at it at all on Friday. Saturday, I picked it up for a minute. I took it outside with me because I was listening to my audiobooks while I was using my new mini chainsaw my dad got me. I took a little picture of me using my chainsaw, and then I ended up putting it up, and I don't even think I touched it at all yesterday, Sunday, Monday. Yep. So like 4 days of detox because I had had so much input all throughout that Christmas break. I needed to be in recovery mode, and that's normal. And so when you commit to every day, you're setting yourself up for guilt when you inevitably miss a day or a shame spiral that makes you want to quit altogether. And that all or nothing trap where you break your streak, you stop completely. So I want you to build with flexibility. And again, more on that in a second. The third thing I don't want you to do, I don't want you to plan 3 launches, 2 courses, and a rebrand all in Q1. My God, I see this one constantly. You're excited about 2026 and you plan everything. Okay. January, I'm going to launch a course. February, I'm going to launch a membership. March, I'm going to rebrand and launch coaching. And by February 3rd, you're like burnt out. You're behind, you're spiraling, and then you just burn it all down and start over. We love the idea of doing all the things, but executing all the things is a different story. And I am just as guilty. Okay. Just as guilty. Okay. This is a daily struggle. This is something we have to have accountability on. We have to have connection on. We have to continue to work towards getting better at. I've gotten really good at it in my business. I'm still terrible at it in real life. My daughter's actually in a Mardi Gras ball this year. I guess I could say it. I don't think it's a secret. She's a page if you know anything about Mardi Gras. Anyway, there's all this gift giving. And I feel like every year there's a lot of the same gifts. So I love to do custom gifts. And so for me, she was like, I want to give, she found these earrings that she wanted to give. And I was like, oh, these are really cute. I could make those. You know where this is going, right? How many of you have a Cricut that has dust on it? Got it? Anyway, I've never done polymer clay, like never. But again, I know I could figure just about anything out. And holy crap, 18 hours later, we're knee deep in clay. And I'm like, is this ever going to end? We love the idea of I can do that too. I could do that too. But executing it, different story. So the rule for 2026, one focus per quarter. That's it. One thing, one thing, one thing, one thing. You could do one thing really well. You can't do 12 things halfway. So this is where you have to really choose wisely. Okay. So if you're not doing massive content calendars, if you're not doing some over exaggerated posting commitment and 12 launches, what are you doing? So here is your actual game plan for the next 48 hours. All right. Not a vision board. Okay. Not a 12-month strategy. Not I want to make $1 million. All of that can be done later. Right now, I want you to focus and get a result so that you can build momentum to do those things. I want you to set one specific measurable goal for January through March. Either I want to enroll 10 people into my program. I want to book 5 consulting clients. I want to sell 50 of my $97 course. That's it. One goal, one focus. Write it down. And then ask yourself, what's the one offer I need to sell to hit that goal? Not 3 offers, one. Your brain loves all the things, but it gets decision fatigue trying to figure out what to promote, what to say, what to do, what to post. So you end up posting nothing or promoting nothing, or you switch between offers every week and you confuse your audience and nobody buys anything. I want you to pick one, promote it relentlessly for 90 days. Second thing I want you to do, I want you to build your minimum viable consistency plan, not a content calendar that is 12 months long. This is asking yourself, what's the minimum I need to do to stay visible and make sales? Okay. For most people, it's 3 times a week on your main platform, story sequence each day, some DM follow up, right? That's it. You don't have to post constantly. But if you want to grow fast, posting more content does give you the data for you to be able to say, okay, I know what's working and what's not working. But if you are struggling with even being consistent at all, 3 to 4 posts a week on your main platform is enough. Okay. And set up what's that minimum viable strategy. What's going to keep you visible without burning you out? Now, I personally like to have a cadence, a content cadence. And I talk about this in my free strategy workbook that I gave out last week. I'll have that in the show notes. You're going to want to get that. If you get a content cadence set up, everything else will change. And I go through all of that in my free workbook. So you can grab that in the show notes. But have a baseline that your brain can handle even on low energy days. And the benefit of that is once you set that up, you can schedule content. Like I said, I went on a 4-day detox from the internet, but I still had content going out left and right. But you need to write this down. You need to have a plan for it. And then the third thing is set up your bad day system. I know that's like super negative and it's like, why do I want to prepare for bad days? It's going to happen. Okay. It's going to happen. And this is why people fail by week 3. You need to plan for the days when your brain just is not working because they're going to come. You're going to have days where you can't focus, days where you're overwhelmed, days where you forget your business exists, days where you're in a shame spiral. It's normal. But instead of pretending it's not going to happen, plan for it. So have like a low energy content folder, pre-written captions, testimonial graphics, behind the scenes pictures. Like you can go ahead and go through your phone, your camera roll right now and get a bunch of that together and just make a new folder on your phone with that kind of stuff. When your brain is fried, don't try to create something new, pull from that folder. Another super secret hack for those of you that got this far, if you are struggling on a day and you're just like, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to post. This is why we plan and prep and schedule. But I like to look at my Facebook memories. It will like bring some stuff up that I'm like, man, I can't believe I actually posted that. But it's like, oh, and that usually will get my creativity flowing. Sometimes I made a post that I could just copy paste, repost again, and it does well. Sometimes I might see a post from 4 or 5 years ago, what I was doing, and I'm like, man, that's nostalgic. Like, I can't believe we actually went through that, or we made it through that, or we did that. And that gives me the opportunity to have a storytelling post. But when your brain is fried, you don't want to try to create something new. Okay. Quality is important. Have some kind of like, I don't want to say sales script, but you should also have some like very ready, easy to use templates for DMs. So if you make a post and your call to action is comment me to get my free workbook, you should kind of have a generic idea of what to say. Okay. Copy, paste, personalize, send. You're going to have bare minimum days. And that's part of the reason I set up my calendar the way I do. And again, that's all in the workbook. I'm not going to hash all that out on the episode, but you need to have at least one day where it's like just completely resetting for you. That is how you get your creativity flowing. And on the bad brain days, showing up is enough. Okay. Set up these systems now before you need them. Because when you're in the middle of a shame spiral on January 18th, you won't have the capacity to build these systems then. You need them ready to go. Okay. So you picked your quarter 1 goal, your quarter 1 goal. You defined your minimum viable consistency. You set up your bad systems days. Now what? Here's kind of like a week by week game plan for January. All right. First week, your only job is to get visible. You're not launching something, selling something, creating any new offers, just show up. Posting about what are you focused on in 2026? A problem your audience is facing, a small win behind the scenes. You're not selling yet. You're just reminding people you exist. because the truth is, most of your audience took a break over the holidays. And I'll never tell you that it's not a good time to buy or sell this last week. But if you are in that paralyzed mode right now, you're not ready. You're still in what even is my life right now mode. So don't come out swinging with a hard sell. Show up, be real, be visible, and be vulnerable. Build connections. Then week two, start adding that value and dropping your call to actions, dropping your links, right? But adding value, a tip related to your offer, a story about a transformation you've seen, a client, your own win. Here's what not to do: mistakes people make in your space. You're building desire. You're positioning yourself as the expert. You're showing people you understand their problems, okay, without like some crazy hard sell. And moving into week three, continue mentioning your offer. Here's what I'm working on in quarter one. Mention your offer kind of casually. If you're struggling with this problem, here's how my offer solves it. Educate them. Testimonial or another case study, social proof. You're planting seeds. Some people will DM you, and that's great. Respond with your script, or I recommend responding with questions. The more you learn about someone, the more likely they are to buy, and the more likely you are to see if they are the right customer for you, if you're a good fit to work together. Some people won't, and that's fine. All right. Week four, this is where you're going to like really start honing in on selling. Okay. This is where you need to be making those stories every day. You need to be creating urgency, handling objections, following up relentlessly. Okay. Most sales happen in the follow up. This is why we talk about workflows and systems and setting up automations in Focused and Free and My Academy. By the end of January, you should have made sales if you've been consistent and you've been building your audience, not because you hustled 24/7, but because you had a plan. And so the piece that most coaches skip over, you need to plan for rest as well. Okay. I know it's going to be January. You're going to want to go, go, go. But what I've learned through these years, rest isn't a reward for productivity. Rest is required for productivity. Your brain runs on dopamine, and dopamine requires recovery. So if you go hard for 3 weeks straight, week four, your brain's going to shut down. You're going to lose focus. You're going to feel depressed. You're going to scroll for hours and accomplish nothing. And you're going to think, see, I knew I couldn't do it. But that's not true. You just didn't plan for your rest. Every week, you need to have one full day off at least. Okay. Just live your life. Every month, you need to have like a recovery week where your content's scheduled and you are just playing catch up, because that's going to happen, not creating anything new. If you're always in creating mode, you are going to feel so drained. Okay. When you take those detoxes like I just took, you come back and you feel more energized, more focused, because your brain had time to recover. So as you plan 2026, don't just plan what you're going to do, plan what you're going to rest, when you're going to rest, because sustainability beats burnout every single time. And so here's what I'm going to kind of wrap up with. Everything I just told you, it works, but it's hard to do it alone. Because on January 18th, when your brain's fried and you don't know what to post, you need someone to tell you what to do. January 25th, when you're doubting your offer, you need someone to audit your content and say, here's what's working, here's what's not. On February 3rd, when you want to quit, you need a community that says, me too, but we're not quitting. And that's what makes this year different. Okay. Not motivation, not discipline, not willpower, support. And that's exactly what we do inside Focused and Free, my membership, daily trainings. So you always know what to focus on, biweekly content audits. So you can stop second guessing. Actually, you could do a content audit at any point in time. We do biweekly calls. I have a private Telegram chat where I'm in there and I review and give feedback, hundreds of templates. You're not going to be staring at a blank screen. If you're sitting there and you're like, I don't want 2026 to look like Groundhog Day, this is how you make it different. Not by trying harder, but by having systems and support. All right. So as we wrap this up, you know, 2026 is in 2 days, and you can keep winging it. You can keep relying on motivation, but you'll keep burning out. Okay. We're building systems. We're planning for rest. We're doing one thing really well instead of 12 things halfway. And if you want support while you do it, you know what to do. Check the show notes. Make sure you screenshot this episode, throw it in your stories, tag me at socially.awesome. Let me know, what's your quarter one goal. I want to cheer you on. And if you love this episode, please leave it a review. The best compliment you can give. It helps other entrepreneurs find the show. But until next time, you don't need to be perfect. You just need a system. Let's make 2026 the year it finally clicks. Make it simple, make it social, and make it awesome.